Throwaway time. What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? 2.5 years ago, I was in dire financial straits, so I sold my home to keep my struggling business afloat. I neglected to tell the owners that they have an 800 SQ fort bunker on the property that I built about 7 years ago. The bunker that I've called home since I sold it. The entrance to it is well hidden, but I still come and go very early/very late in the day. I'm a single man who keeps to himself. I'm now in a situation where I could move somewhere else, but I love this hidden paradise so much. I speak 2 languages, so every time I received a new essay, I would browse the topic in my own language and translate the text word by word to English, then submitted it. No one ever caught me for plagiarism before. When I was 17, I had an argument with my father and told him to fuck off. Later that evening, he hung himself. Our argument was the last time he spoke to anyone in our family, and for that I feel a terrible amount of guilt for. Instead of him saying goodbye, and I love you to my mom and brothers, he got told to fuck off before he went and killed himself. My punishment is to live the rest of my days in shame and guilt. He never left a note either. Update. Thank you everyone for your kind words. My mother put me and my brothers in counseling after it happened. As I can only really speak for myself, I think it helped me cope enough to carry on, but now 11 years later, my current life situation, married soon-to-be dad, is bringing back tons of bad memories and feelings. I just might take your advice and talk to someone about it. I have never even spoken about my dad's death with my wife, as she is coping with her father who is in the mid-stage of dementia, and that's hard enough, and don't want her to feel worse than what she is. I will probably seek out some professional help. Again, thank you all for the kind words. I once helped out my female friend's family by taking care of their cat for a week. Every day for a week, I would go over there and snoop around their house. I found my friend's diary and proceeded to read the entire thing. I used this information to get her to like me, and she is currently my wife. I once took a shit in the bathtub and then realizing what a horrible mistake I'd made, I flung poo into a hole in the wall. My parents renovated and patched up the hole. So now there is a 15-year-old turd in between the bathroom and kitchen wall of my childhood home. Not even using a throwaway because I have no shame. Yes, I made a new Reddit account for this. I want to break up with my boyfriend. He texted me one night saying he had a crush on me, and I lied saying I felt the same. We got together the next week. I can't break up with him because he's incredibly suicidal, and I'm one of his only reasons to live. I feel so bad. There are 2 reasons I'm still with him, the previously mentioned reason, and that the thought of someone loving poor, pathetic me is amazing. I feel so guilty. Well, since I was a child, I was pyromaniac, well addicted to fire and setting things on fire, which started around when I was 6 or 7. My parents woke up to the smell of burnt furniture. I was pretty much setting the sofa on fire and I was just playing. Some years later, I've occasionally burned down some abandoned place where used to be a garage and car repair shop. I can't count how many times I just set things ablaze there, and sometimes things got out of control. Yes, the fire brigade came out almost in minutes before I could sneak out and pretend to be just a normal kid walking home after school. I was pretty insane as a kid. One time I've set the summer camp on fire end of summer. Man, I've seen fire before, but because it was so dry out there, even the trees caught fire up to 8-10 meters. I never looked back. I never asked what happened or tried to discover it myself, but damn sure I never got back there. It wasn't something serious, but ended up really serious. I came very, very close to committing a school shooting. I was picked on a LOT in high school. I think it was because I tried so hard to be cool, and everyone saw right through it. There were these 4 cowboy jock types that gave it to me the worst. After being publicly humiliated and beaten in front of a girl I liked, as she laughed/cheered, I decided that none of it was worth it anymore. I had no support at home being an only child and having parents that worked constantly, and cutting and burning myself didn't make me feel better anymore. So I got my dad's handgun out of the gun safe. He uses the same combo for everything, the idiot, and brought it to school with me the next day. I can't adequately describe to you guys how ready I was to kill these 4. I had absolutely no fear or doubt in my mind. I wanted nothing more than to show everyone what happens when you push someone over the edge like they did. I had the gun tucked in my waistline. I was wearing this baggy pair of cargo shorts that I wore a couple times a week that day. I remember walking towards the Cowboys table, so goddamn ready for it to be over, when the gun fell out of my waistline, down my left short leg, and made the loudest fucking sound as it hit the cafeteria floor. I tried my best to grab the gun real quick, but people saw what it was and screamed, and one of the instructors tackled me to the ground. They eventually concluded that I had brought the gun to school to impress people with badassery and had no intention of using it. I was expelled and sent to live at a youth ranch in Idaho until I was 18. I did have the intention of using it, though. I was going to kill all of them. I'm 24 now, and I still think about it all the time. I have not recovered from high school. I'm still terrified of people in general and avoid having relationships because of what I fear I'm capable of. I'm not looking for pity. I know that what I did was wrong. It just feels good to tell the story. Thanks, Reddit. TLDRI attempted a school shooting. There was a girl who I had a crush on the moment I saw her on my college campus. She ended up dating a douchebag dude a few weeks later. I happened to end up sitting in a study room with him and a few mutual friends. He talked about how he didn't think she was that attractive and how he liked other girls. I wrote the girl an anonymous email using one of those websites, telling her about the things I heard and how the guy was a dick. She ended up breaking up with him after she found out he was cheating. The girl is now my girlfriend of 6 months. She has no idea and is sitting across from me in the library. I've never told anyone this before. We've now been together 9 months and are going strong. T2. It's our 1-year anniversary tomorrow. I've gotten a number of requests for updates over the past few years. We're still together, going 3+ years strong, and she's finally moved in with me. Life is great. Still going strong after 5 years. We've been living together in a big city and life is great. We've found things we're both really passionate about and can finish each other's sentences. I've always been a big believer of the just do it mindset, and this whole story is proof of it. Still getting occasional PMs as of early 2019. Happy to say we are still together, 7.5 years later. We're living together in a big city, and there's probably a proposal in the cards sometime soon. You never know where a simple email may take you. 2022 edit. We got married during the pandemic. Not life-ruining, but makes me feel like shit every time I think about it. As I've told Reddit before, I have a blind brother. When we were young, I used to get so frustrated at all the extra attention he received and how I had to be more responsible with my sibling than my peers. So, when my brother and I would go play, go to the store, or just generally go anywhere without adults, I would abandon him somewhere unfamiliar to him. Then, I would stand off quietly and watch the anxiety set in as he tried to figure out where he was and what was going on. Also, I was really intelligent as a child and knew that was my ticket to attention. When I would help my brother with his homework, I would teach him all the wrong answers so that I could continue being the smarter sibling. Today, my brother is my best friend. He goes to college and lives by himself. He's become one of the most intelligent men I've ever met. I'm trying to make it up to him now by being the best big sister ever, but I still feel so guilty at how I found him to be a burden when I was a kid. Edit, update. I immediately called my brother after posting this and caught him while he was walking to a study group. I told him about my guilt and he laughed. He understands how frustrating it must have been. He told me that all of the good things I have done as a sister completely overshadow anything bad I did, and that he loves me more than anything. I'm glad I spoke with him, and I encourage others on here to talk to someone if they can.